Hello, 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 and welcome to Bitches with Beards. And on today's episode, I asked a question. Was the Deeper and Deeper music video the last time Madonna had fun?
And which of my cousins do I compliment for such fine boiled potatoes?
We're the podcast that attempts to break down culture with all the elegance of two coastal grandmas.
But in truth, we're just a couple of bitches with beards.
I'm Max.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're live from the Dan Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
And we both have opinions, so let's get this party started.
Cheers, and cheers to other people, because we have guests.
Salute.
We have guests. Does everyone want to quickly introduce themselves?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Allen, and I am the black bitch with a beard.
Yes, you are.
I am Lennon, and I'm the only person here physically incapable of growing a beard.
Interloper.
But
Behind the right
so
place.
cute. Yes, but you make up for it by having the best hair out of anyone
true.
here.
That's where it all went. Thank you.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, your hair's also lovely, but he has that hair that bald people want to punch you for.
It's like the 1950s, like coiffure.
Okay.
Now, I feel weird now discussing physical appearance. Get me in my segues.
Oh, wonderful segue.
So we are going to start a little bit unusually. Before we knew we were going to have guests this week, we found so much culture to discuss.
Yes.
And I wanted to come at Daniel with something, and we're going to come at everyone.
Oh, God.
Face shot, face shot, face shot. Anyone here a fan or seen the new season of White Lotus?
I'm a fan, and we know I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
That's the joke.
you've had a fucking week.
I've had a week,
You've had
okay? I've
fucking
had a week.
We are a culture podcast.
There's a lot of culture that happened this week.
You're on thin ice, Missy.
I know I am. I should be just sent down the river right now.
So on Saturday Night Live, well, that goes without saying,
Really?
did a very good sketch in which they called it White POTUS. They basically took the new season of Saturday Night Live, but inserted all members of the present administration, including the main family, which slips my mind, but basically there was the Trump family, and then you had the three bitchy friends became the cabinet members, again geniusly done, and finally you had the Walton Goggins and Amy Lee Wood characters done as RFK, and I don't think she was meant to be Cheryl Hines, but that bitch deserves what she gets.
Well, that's true.
Anyway,
She made her bad.
She made her beds, and she, you can't get much worse than Larry David, and she found a way. Anyway,
Somehow.
we're not going to bitch about her on that one. So the RFK bit was funny because that guy was discussing all the things that he could want to remove, including fluoride from the water, in which it cuts to the Amy Lee Wood version of the Chelsea, played by Sarah Sherman in this one, with her signature beautiful teeth, which are very iconic for her, going, well, what the hell is fluoride, in a really bad London accent. It is the only time within this sketch that someone's physical appearance of the actor originating the role was mocked. Everything else was the morals of the cabinet that they are doing.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, how does everyone feel now about physical appearance being a point of mockery?
Oh, I see where we're going with this one.
Because it was really weird. It was jarring.
Yeah, I actually commented back to you because you sent it to me in text, and you're like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I think it was a little bit jarring because, the person who they were impersonating was not a part of the joke.
Yes.
At all. In fact, she has, spoken out against SNL because they made her the joke for her physical appearance. And I said, that was a choice, and I don't necessarily agree with it because...
She got flowers, but no real apology, apparently.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Do you have appearance on physical appearance? Do you have a view on physical appearance being used?
And can physical appearance be funny?
Well, I use physical appearance for fun all the time. But I'm one of those people that, I will tell a joke and I can laugh at myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, I can understand if they're insecure about it and they catch feelings. But, sometimes you have to laugh at yourself. And Saturday Night Live is well known for making mockeries of different people. So
I hate to get weirdly serious about it, but it's like, hey, I mean, you kind of sort of can't change certain things about yourself, even if they're kind of like low-hanging fruit or like out there in everybody's faces. You know what I mean? In terms of like physicality being a point to poke fun at, I feel like only if you're a jerk. I'm sorry. If you're a jerk, it's like, I'm going to make fun of that tooth or how your hair does that thing or something. You know what I mean? I know it's double standard, but it's what you give. You know what I mean? So
I think for me, it's because there's been a lot of discussion about her look. Mm-hmm. Let's be really blunt. As an English person that's come over to the States, I had a lot of commentary about my teeth. Mm-hmm. Like my bottom teeth, they're a bit that. So when I started dating the hubs, and I mentioned to my dentist in England and said, "Oh yeah, I'm out." She's like, "What are you up to this week?" I said, "I'm off to America to see my boyfriend." And this is big for my boyfriend. God, And she
at least call him fiance.
And she literally got out a brochure of teeth straightening and whitening and said, "He's American. You might want to look into these."
God.
Yeah. And the thing is, it is hard over here. I mean, and it's weird now because there's an actor on the program, Luke, with Maya Rudolph, and he's got teeth that are not bad, but they are different. And you're like, oh, it's so weird to see a show where they don't have all these perfect teeth. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, the issue I had was that Amy Lou Wood has really had to... I think she's stunning. She's a great actress. She's going to be... I love her. I love her. And I think she's going to be something big, and she's had to push that her physical appearance is nothing to be ashamed of. Mm-hmm. And I think the implication is made that her teeth are like that because of poor hygiene, and she's like, no, I just have like teeth.
Genetics.
Well, there is just crowding. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman, but would I make fun of her teeth? I probably wouldn't make fun of her teeth. I'd probably make fun of her hair first.
You don't like her hair. You don't like
I love her hair, the devil.
Whose hair I'm obsessed with was I went to see, I'll bring me up later, but that one drop with what's her face from the second season of White Lotus, Megan Fahey. I couldn't keep her eyes off her hair in the opening. They tie it back for the whole thing, I think, so it doesn't distract, because literally her hair moves so beautifully I could not keep my eyes off it, and I'm like, why are they tying it back? Oh, that's why, because the gays are like,
they'd be watching the
that
hair
blowout,
the entire time.
blowout. Well, anyway, we didn't mock anyone's physical appearance.
No.
But Daniel, how was your week?
You know, the week was not so bad.
Daniel, could you move your mouth behind the mic so I can't see your teeth? It's
Oh,
disgusting.
sorry. If you could just put your entire face behind the mic so I don't see it. Oh, a little lower. Oh, perfect.
I'm like the hub's at a meal when he clearly doesn't want to have eat the company. We're not going to that, sorry, babe.
Anyways, it's been a interesting week. Yeah, some of the employees are in full rebellion, and I'm just like, I cannot protect you if you're like this. And said goodbye to some individuals this week at work. I had a very cathartic moment with a friend and coworker who was leaving, where truth was actually admitted, and I was like, oh, thank you for having this moment. I am now okay with you leaving at this point. Thank you. Things are a lot better.
I just have visions of that Pocahontas meme. Bye, bitch.
It was never going to be like that, but yeah, it was just nice. I was like, oh, responsibility has been taken.
And this was...
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, it was. I was just like, oh, you can be truthful. Thank you so very much. Anyways, and that was very bitchy on me for saying that. Anyways, that was sort of the highlight of the week, without naming names, was that moment. It ended up having some oysters afterwards. So, you know, all was good. Otherwise, just a lot of self-care this week. A lot of self-care.
Yeah, I noticed you were that. We didn't really speak much. I think we kind of went a couple of days and it was just like morning.
Yeah, and it was very unintentional. It was just work was very busy, and I would get home in the afternoon and I'm like, I need to go for a walk, and so I'd go for a good 4-mile walk. So, sorry.
That's good. That's quite far actually for a quick walk.
Well, I didn't say it was a quick walk.
But I'm saying like a walk. Usually that's good. That's a good loop.
Yeah, it was one of those like going up to Sherman Circle and then
Yeah.
walking all the way down the reservoir. So it was, it was
Nice.
a good distance. Needed some scenery. It was, I don't know. Spring is in the air. I don't feel like reading right now. I'm sorry.
I know. I get you.
Yeah. I will do better next week, my dear. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
I just don't want you to feel abandoned in your.
I'm good. I barely.
In your age.
I was barely communicating. Fuck off. Not that. Well, actually,
You're almost there.
I'm all. I had a fucking medical emergency this week, so I just randomly shit, didn't I?
Oh yes, you did, and I was so mad at you whenever you showed up. I called you by your full name whenever you showed up at the winery.
So,
Yes.
two here do not know this.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a brunch on Sunday morning to a friend I knew from the rugby team, and he is very lovely. His dad's English, so I took him some hot cross buns, and he was like, "Oh, thank you," and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to go do that for 2 hours, and then we were going to jump back in, come home, grab a cake I'd baked for the matinee idol, and dive to the winery.
Mm-hmm.
And we were standing, and the Hubs had been out the night before with some friends. I had avoided that just to bake said cake because I'm boring. And quite frankly, I don't want to stand in Franklin Hall at Saturday night.
No one does.
Unless someone's going to take their top off. I don't know, it's not. So I'm all there drinking my non-alcoholics like a good bite, and all of a sudden I get a weird pain. Now, I felt this pain before, but not just standing there, and that's all I'm going to say. I was like, okay, this is feeling a bit uncomfortable. And then it felt a little bit more uncomfortable. And then I think I was about to tell the husband that, and then I woke up on the floor. And I had completely passed out. I had a twink on the phone calling an ambulance. My friend over me, who's he's a JAG, so he's military. And he was doing he's like, right, Max is awake. I'm like, yay, hi.
He's reacting to
happened?
stimuli.
And I'm going, oh my God, how much should I drink? And then the Hubs is like, you don't drink. I'm like, oh crap, yeah, no, I must have passed out. And then the team medic showed up. He was cute. Handsy had his beautiful eyes. I was like, hey, yeah, you guys, look at my eyes. I'm like,
You can
yes,
do
please.
something less dramatic to get a man, dear.
Yeah. So they got me up on the seats. The amount of people that showed up from the fucking ambulance, 2 people, they were looking at me, like, you're fine. And they had the people do the EKG.
And you're like, I know I'm fine.
I turned up to the winery with all the EKG bits still hanging off my body.
Literally.
Excuse me. Okay, all right.
Yeah. And I was quite upset with you. And I called you by your full name.
I did land on a Marine. It was really charming. And he texted me the next day to see if I was okay. And I got a giggle.
I'm sure you did.
No, it was. And then I'm lying there and I'm like, why's my phone going off? And it's the Hubs messaging the family group chat. And I'm like, why are you telling my parents? And he's like, it's going to be fine. Anyway, I did go home. I felt better. We grabbed the cake. We got to the winery. I did manage to not go out that night because I was like not feeling brilliant. Doctors like, I think you just had a weird moment and it caused a reaction in your body, but that's it. But no, I did pass out at
Yeah, you did.
That's your first one of the 40s. Believe me.
Yeah.
They happen.
It was just very like, you kind of automatically go, what the fuck did I do? And you're like, no, actually that was a genuine medical emergency. You passed out and you genuinely needed to be looked over.
Yeah.
But they're like, do you want to come in the ambulance? I'm like, I do not have the money right now to be jumping in an ambulance. I'm like,
no, thank you. Uber Black, please.
I called up the next day. My very cute doctor was not available. I said, do you have anything before April for obvious reasons? And they were like, yes, we can do you today with so-and-so. I'm like, please, let's do that.
Perfect.
But apart from that, so I'm done at work. That's it, done. We got signed off. Job ended on Sunday night. Got the payout. That's going to last about 3 months with whatever.
The chapter has closed.
I was looking at some new things, but that's kind of it. So we're kind of, we're going to start some new stuff. We're going to not sit around and apply for jobs.
Yay.
On that note, you guys, how was your weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me tell you. So we're wrapping up our time here in D.C., me and Allen right now. So I'm in a weird existential crisis from being 5 weeks away from turning 30 and trying to finish all the short films that I filmed when I was a younger version of a 20s version of myself.
Hold on, baby.
And
Let me get your bottle.
I already admit that that's not going to happen.
Have you filmed them?
Yeah. Oh, this is footage that I've been sitting on for like
At least
years.
you have to do it.
Yeah.
I know. I want to, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I'd like to actually be present here in a city that I've been living in for 3.5 months and won't be living in for the foreseeable
That's
future.
the point. But if you've got the footage,
You're right.
do it.
You're right. But like, is it important for me to just do it before I'm 30 or before I leave here? Because I leave here before I turn 30.
Before you're 30.
Okay, all right. See, that's what I'm saying.
But that means you've got to start it while you're here, though.
But you've got to
That's-
set yourself the challenge.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
You've got to have goals, deadlines. Set the deadlines.
I'm glad that you said that because my week has essentially been going back and forth between, okay, resting is basically Sisyphus without becoming Icarus. That's my vibe right now. You know what I mean? I'm pushing up the rock every single day. And I'm trying not to get absolutely burned when I get to the top. So,
That was
And
incredible.
how's that working for you?
I'm here and I've had a beer. So there we go.
Perfect.
Yes. How about you, Alan?
Well, today was the last day of my internship, so I've been chilling like a villain. I'm like the strongest person for some self-care. I'm like, just sit down somewhere, read a book, do some crochet.
Yeah.
I love making hats, and I've actually been thinking about going and getting some yarn, because next week
You should do it.
I'm doing nothing.
Do it.
I don't want to hear nothing. It's one of those things. I'm having fun.
That's good. Well, on that note, Daniel, shall we take a wander around Ina's garden?
We should.
So what have you got for us today?
So this week we are trying to Villa La Mer Blanc de Blanc Brut de-alcoholized wine. The spirit moved me this evening because guess who loves their champers? I do, and who has missed it terribly? Me. It's not as bubbly as champers.
No, they could put this for a soda stream.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah,
Maybe-
I would say it would be great to have more of a carbonation to this.
Yeah, but taste-wise, does taste like my champers.
Yeah, it just needs more carbonation.
Just needs a little bit more carbonation.
Yeah.
Do we have a soda stream in the house?
We do have one behind, but it doesn't quite. We haven't used it for years.
I'm thinking more about like for Sunday if I were to show up with this.
We have to. We have. I don't think it still works.
Oh darn it!
Well, we can think of
My
something.
my dream's dashed.
Well, anyway, because it is the week before Easter, I have done my usual hot cross buns, which I did early rather than on a night because they take like 5 hours to make. So everyone take a bit of it. These are British tradition.
Goodness.
They are like they are currants and they are
Thank you, dear.
like cinnamon and nutmeg in a bread.
Oh my
They smell
god.
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
They're my favourite.
Oh, you stuck your foot in this.
He makes great food.
Yeah, I was pleased with these ones.
This is Mary Berry.
I never try to talk with my mouth open, oh my lord.
Paul Hollywood. Because Paul Hollywood does the the bread baking. Yeah, I'm happy with those. But you can buy them really easily in England and you can't buy them over here. It's just impossible.
With no point of reference. My god.
Thank you.
I've seen a new world. Or at least a new country.
And the cross is done with a bit of... So they are cross, I'll show you them, but you put
Yeah.
a cross on the top with flour. But over here they do it with icing. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not. They're not that... This is what English would call indulgent.
Yes.
We love to spread a lot of butter over something bready, and we are happy as shit.
I mean, it's carbs and butter. What more could you want? That is happiness in a hand.
As a brown boy myself, I agree with this. Butter, bread, let's do it.
Happiness in a hand, Daniel. Don't mind me. Well, with that, Daniel, shall we move on to the news?
Yes, so this is a portion of the podcast where we talk about things that are gay adjacent, or just a little bit camp.
Well, just when you thought it was safe to go back to the Great White Way, Andrew Lloyd Webber may be relaunching Phantom of the Opera, because that's what the world... You know what? Lennon came in today and went, I'm so gutted that Phantom's not on Broadway anymore. First thing he said to me.
Surprise!
It's true, yeah. It's
They're not sure whether or not they're going to do the pared down touring version on this venue, or they're going to do an interactive experience. I love Phantom. I prefer Love Never Dies.
Yeah.
But just give it a break, Lloyd Webber.
Let it rest.
Let it rest.
Let it rest.
Let it rest.
She's not been away long enough. She needs a little bit more beauty sleep.
Talking of people bringing stuff back, HBO has announced the cast of the new Harry Potter TV series. I know conflicting views on this one, especially because of the legislation just went through the United Kingdom regarding that they're now saying that a trans woman is not considered a woman by British law.
Yes.
Though the lovely Nicola, is it Laughlin, I want to say?
Coughlin
From Gay Girls has turned around and raised a ton of money to support
£60,000
towards trans rights, saying fuck off. And I think that Amy Lee Wood also said fuck off.
Yes.
So, yay to that. But no, they've announced the cast of the Harry Potter reboot series. Unfortunately, my beautiful Brett Goldstein, the rumours were not true.
Oh, yes.
He's not playing Hagrid. Even that would have been interesting. Nick Frost is, if you know him from the Simon Pegg Edgar Wright movies. We have I could not find a decent list of people. Papa Esidu is a actor of colour. He's going to be playing Snape.
Yes.
I am fucking excited about that. Half because I like the way when people react badly to that sort of shit, and also I can just tell he's going to be fucking amazing as it.
Very commanding.
Luke Fadden's going to be playing Quirrell. Paul Whitehouse, who I adore. You may not. He's a British actor.
I feel like I know the name. The face. Is
He
not
works a
coming
lot
to
of
me.
Kathy Burke in comedy over the years. You'll know him if you see him. He's playing Filch, the caretaker. Janet McTeer is playing McGonagall. She's a theatre actress, so she should be excellent. Of course, John Lithgow as Dumbledore. How's everyone feeling? Anyone got hard opinions on this one?
Oh,
no one gives a shit, quite frankly.
Oh no, so me and my husband were like married on Harry Potter's birthday. So just so you know, like we had a Harry Potter wedding.
I was going to say, was it a thing?
Yes.
Please tell me it was.
Oh yes, we had a great time. I was like, this is. I was dancing most of the night. I think this is going to be fun.
I think it is as well.
I mean, it's a totally different take,
Right.
You know, and you get to see how that's going to fit.
And I like the fact that each season is supposed to be one of the books.
Yeah.
So they can actually grow and develop a little bit more than what they did in the films.
So, as you are a fan, I know, like it's. I mean, I our niece who is 16 and queer, and I asked her about.
Oh, sorry, I was about to say which niece. Sorry,
the niece.
Yes, I know which niece.
The
now.
niece in North Carolina.
Yeah.
About because she's a Harry Potter fan. I said, "How do you, as a 16-year-old, deal with Harry Potter?" And she goes, "We just have to completely eliminate J.K. Rowling from this fact. So that's how we do it." But that aside, I really like the first Fantastic Beasts films, and then after that, what the fuck happened? They just completely lost the plot. Like, how do we feel about? Do we feel there is still steam in the the Wizarding World franchise, or
okay, I see what you're saying.
are we? Because I'm just worried that there's potential. I like the series per book. I've always loved that.
So here's the thing. I feel like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was not an entire series. It was made just for the screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't based off of a book, whereas Harry Potter was based off a book that we fell in love with, and then we saw on the screen. So I think there's still enough steam, so to speak, because, you know, we all have our connections or interactions, but it wasn't like Fantastic Beasts where it's like, we're seeing it on the screen.
Well,
that's
three.
our touch point.
Well, there are three
There
of
were
them.
three.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was meant to be two more, wasn't there?
I think so. Like, that one, yeah, there's no more steam for that one.
Yeah.
Do y'all
Literally.
Do y'all think that like Harry Potter is now going the way of Star Wars? Like it's outgrown the original creator so much that it's becoming incumbent upon the infrastructure of creativity around the franchise for other people to carry the torch?
Well, we're talking a lot about Star Wars at the moment because actually there's a lot of announcements going on at Star Wars Celebration in Japan at the moment. And we were going to come on to actually one of the announcements made there, including because of the actor involved. But no, I think that the thing with, in my opinion, is the difference of Star Wars and Harry Potter is that Rowling actually was heavily involved in the world building.
Yeah.
Lucas built the established world, but actually Star Wars is such an interesting one because actually Star Wars is an independent movie that was an experiment. The idea, in my opinion, is I'm wearing a fucking Star Wars t-shirt right now.
Do tell us.
Is that Star Wars, the idea of that was that it was meant to be, can we take all these myths, legends, concepts, And are people familiar enough to know that them? So we just dump them in the middle of a story, and they're like, we know where this is going. And then of course, it grew. You know, the Clone Wars, which takes up, you know, multiple TV series now and all that, was literally a throwaway line in A New Hope. You helped my father during the Clone Wars, now he needs you more than ever. And it's interesting how it's built up. But Rowling, and I think Lucas has always used this as a way of allowing people to thrive. You know, there was fan fiction in the late 80s, early 90s, and those people became the first writers of the novel series, which even though now discontinued, have still fed into that lore, Grand Admiral Thrawn and all that. So I think Star Wars has always been more owned by its fandom, whereas Harry Potter's very much been owned by J.K. Rowling. So it's hard to separate to a level. But I do think that, yes, they have had to step her back. She's always going to earn off this.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know why she doesn't shut the fuck up. She says some really nasty things, and I just don't know why she just can't just go and write.
Well, I mean, it's why I stopped reading her mystery series that she wrote. Like, don't get me wrong, I
love her writing style.
loved that mystery series. Stopped reading it after the stuff started coming out. Like,
But-
absolutely stopped.
But now when you read, like, the Harry Potter books, and, like, you know, the Irish one, it can't help but blow things up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, my God. How do we not notice in the naming, like, Cho Chang? I'm like,
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this. I think this is a really good concept.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do it good.
We're all rooting for you.
The interesting thing is going to be, though, is that Daniel Radcliffe is so linked with the role, the three of them are, is that when it comes to, like, the theme parks, and they filmed the actors for the theme parks, how are they going to transition between the two ones, do you think?
Oh.
Who's going to become the Harry Potter? Because isn't he in the Wizarding World theme park?
Yeah. I don't know.
And
Yeah.
he's going to always be
Harry-
the original Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's going through some health things right now, and we want to kind of like, I want to give love to that man so much, but
Two Harrys stand before us.
one has proven his worth.
Sashay away.
Daniel Radcliffe, your time is over.
And
Well-
to JK as well.
Talking of witches, sadly, the actress Jean Marsh, who co-created Upstairs Downstairs, has died at 90.
I love Jean Marsh.
Yes, she also created House of Elliot. What film am I going to say that I loved her in?
I'm not gonna get this one.
Return to Oz. She was Princess Mombi,
Oh.
the queen that could take her heads off.
Didn't realize she was his mom.
Yeah, she was Mombi. She was the main Mombi head. Yeah, and she was also in Willow. Yeah. Pigs. that
Why do we both react that way over Willow?
Yes. I miss Willow.
Moving quickly, even quicker than Katy Perry's in space. Wendy's has acknowledged that he made a shady comment about Katy Perry, but has failed to apologise for it. So essentially, someone tweeted Katy Perry's return from space, to which Wendy's, the official account, tweeted back, "Can we send her back there?" There was also comments about in the time that she was up there. I think Domino's said we only made 2 pizzas. I get really upset by the focus on Katy Perry and the shit they're giving her when everyone should be acknowledging Gayle King's face when she rang that bell, because she was not impressed by the going on. She was like, "No, ma'am, no."
She was over it.
Gayle King's face was like, Oprah.
How could
should
you
have
send
been
me
on
up
it.
there?
She was lately sent up by Oprah.
Yep.
And finally, Ryan Gosling has been announced to be in Star Wars Starfighter, which is going to get a May 2027 release. It is, I think, going to take over from Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie. It's going to be interesting, this one. The Hubs asked, do you think that he's too big an actor to be in Star Wars? I know a friend that had issues like with Laura Dern being in Last Jedi. I think Star Wars realizes that maybe people will, considering that next year is going to, 2 years is going to be its 50th anniversary, maybe they need to freshen it up a little bit and bring in some people.
A little fresher.
I like Ryan Gosling. I'm excited. It's going to be set 5 years after the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, interesting.
That's my news, Daniel. Oh my god, I'm excited for this bit.
Oh my gosh, so we had some late breaking news. Thank you, Max, for giving it to me because I was not paying attention this week. So, listeners, Fyre Watch 2025 is officially over. So Fyre Watch 2.0 or Fyre Festival 2.0 is officially canceled, and people are getting their money back.
What?
Yes, the scandal that we thought was going to last all summer decided to fizzle out. What are we going to do now, Max? What are we going to do without a Fyre Festival?
Well, I don't think that Katy Perry was the only one that bought a ticket.
Why do I think she was the only one slated to perform? Is what I want to know.
Well, I'm just gutted that the Fyre Festival listening party is no longer happening.
Oh,
I bought a beanbag chair just for it.
Did you?
I did.
Well, you might be able to get a refund for it because people who did buy tickets are getting refunds.
But who bought a ticket?
I don't know who bought a ticket. Only 250 people bought a ticket, apparently.
Oh my god.
Yes. Like, it's layers of embarrassment and shame, like, on this one. That's all I'm going to say. So much shame. What? Too shady?
No, but just only 250 people.
Only 250 people.
Do you know what the capacity for it was at all?
I have no clue what the capacity was. I think they were trying to be bigger than what they were last time. So, you know, a dumpster fire. Really. Yeah, who's to say? Who's to say?
Would you go to Fyre Festival?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, mate.
Do you know what
Oh,
Fyre
don't-
Festival is? Remember the festival, the Upmarket Music Festival, 7, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
And they all got there, and all these rich people got trapped on an island because
For like 3 days.
I have been with my head in a hole in the ground in school
Like-
for like years.
Like, so from this like whole experience of Fyre Festival, people were paying like thousands of dollars to go out on some island for like some music festival and lunch or like something. They got like stranded there.
Yeah.
And there was like pieces of like bread with like a slice of cheese like vaguely melted over it.
Yeah. The producer of the festival went to jail, or the, I guess, creator of the festival, anyways, went to jail for like 7 years. As soon as he got out, he was just like, Fyre Festival 2.0 is here. Yeah. True
Switcheroo.
story.
Switcheroo part
True
two.
story.
I'll
True
say.
story. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it definitely is white nonsense.
Okay.
The whole thing is
Oh.
pure white nonsense.
It absolutely is. Totally
I wouldn't
is.
say that. It's more opaque.
It was just,
It's white
It
nonsense.
was literally, how can you create this ultra exclusive event? The
Yeah.
idea was it was going to be all these, high end performers getting paid a lot. The tents were going to be like luxury style
Yeah.
tents, amazing food. It was going to be a non-fest. It wasn't going to be a festival in how
Yeah.
I would know it.
Yeah.
And they got there, and there was no infrastructure.
Yeah.
They had no idea what they were doing, and he knew that. And the big case of being he knew this.
Yeah.
It wasn't
He intentionally committed fraud.
fraud.
And there are 2 documentaries, 2 that you can watch about this. Not 1, but 2.
Now, which is did Netflix do the?
Netflix did 1 and Hulu did 1. I've seen both of them. I think the Hulu one is actually better than the Netflix one, but Netflix goes into more of the behind the story. Like,
I think
detail.
I did Netflix because you could download Netflix,
Yeah.
and I think it was a really good. Them they do them for and they're really good for planes.
Yes.
You know, a plane
Yes.
journey, and they do like their 3-part, 45-minute documentaries that you just want to melt
Yeah.
your head.
Yeah.
Because what was the other one that came out? Was the one about the clothing company about that time as well?
Lululemon.
Yeah, no, Lulu
Lulu. Oh, what was it?
with the bee on the vagina.
Lularoe.
Lulu, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, we are just so deep in shit culture, aren't we? Think of what we could do if we actually opened a book.
I know. I mean, but speaking of Netflix and shit culture, I don't know. Who's to say with this one? So Netflix has announced that they are going to be doing a new take on Pride and Prejudice. They will be announcing a brand new series which will feature 6 episodes. Olivia Colman will be Mrs. Bennet. Jack Loudon from Slow Horses will be Mr. Darcy.
He's so cute.
He's cute, but he's not quite my image of Mr. Darcy. He's not.
But Matthew
dark and pretty.
McFadden wasn't mine originally.
Oh, he was mine.
Yeah, but when he did it, when he was,
No, he was mine.
but when he did the Darcy role, so when he was in it, I was for him.
And Emma Corrin is going to be Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Perfect.
Now, this is going to be a very interesting take because Emma Corrin identifies as non-binary with they/them pronouns. So we will see what her adaptation of this is going to be.
Their adaptation.
Well, their adaptation. Sorry. Yes, their adaptation.
That's right.
So that is the question that everyone is asking: is how will Elizabeth Bennet come across on the
I
screen?
think they will keep them very.
I think so as well.
I think Emma Corrin is a performer who is going to
Consummate.
be playing a female role. But I do think, though, the gender non-binary of it will play a part in the maybe the standoffishness of Elizabeth Bennet, and I think actually it'll make it a bit more delicious. I mean,
Yes.
we have to talk.
If there's that tension.
You know, I'm sorry, but Elizabeth Coleman is joining the ranks of Alison Steadman, who you know as my lovely Pammy from Gavin and Stacey, also Brenda Blethyn. You know, have you ever seen Saving Grace?
No, I haven't seen Saving Grace.
Have you seen?
But I've seen her and Vera. She's delicious.
Have you seen? Have you heard of Doc Martin?
Yes.
So Saving
Yes.
Grace was the movie that.
Launched up.
Look, it sort of was meant to be. So Martin Clunes is in it, and I think they wanted to spin it off, and then they kind of spun it, but it's loosely spun off because they completely changed the character. But that's the one where her husband dies, and she starts growing weed in the south. That's set in Cornwall, where the mum's from, and it's set there, and she starts selling weed. It's brilliant.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, Brenda Blethyn. Oh, and Little Voice. Have you seen Little Voice?
Yes.
Yes, perfect in that.
Yep. All right, more news. So Prada has agreed to buy the brand Versace. So the Northern Italian fashion house will buy Versace for $1.4 billion. This will be a meeting of northern elegance of Italy with southern body of Versace. Donatella will be staying on. She is stepping down as the chief creative director, but she will remain as the chief brand ambassador.
And I'm actually going to make her leftover skin into a couch for the offices.
Yes. The leather can go for at least 4 couches, is what they've said. 4.
And she's
Not 5,
we're allowed to
but
mock her
4.
for that because she knows what she's doing with that beauty routine.
Absolutely. They have announced that we should not expect any crossing of the brands. They will remain unique and diverse, and that's all you need to know.
No one needs a remake of Alien vs. Predator.
Right?
It's coming out of her stomach. She hasn't eaten anything for years.
Right?
And no one's talking to Donatella.
No one knows. All right. So Emmy Award-winning director Sam Wrench is set to direct the remake of The Bodyguard. Wrench is known for the Eras Tour. He's the director of it. There is no word yet on the cast, no word yet on the release date. Also, there is no word yet as to whether or not Michelle Visage will be returning in Seduction for another Grammy-nominated turn.
Good for her for that one. Good for her. She wasn't actually though in Seduction on that video.
No, she was in a different brand completely.
She was just a jobbing artist, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Maybe they'll do the musical version.
Maybe, we'll see. But it is supposed to actually be a remake of the 1992 film version, so we'll see.
I say include more songs.
Yes. And finally, the damn fool that shot him, Leslie Odom himself, is set to return as Aaron Burr for 12 weeks in Hamilton for the 10th anniversary of the show.
I can't believe it's been 10 fucking years.
10 fucking years. Anyways, he will start his run in September and it will conclude in November. No word yet if anyone else, wink wink, Lynn, will be joining.
I'm sure Lynn loves the spotlight.
Lynn loves the
God
spotlight.
love him. He's fucking talented. I'm not going to deny him his talent, but my God, if that man can see a spotlight,
He'll be running for it.
there's a spotlight of a police search. He's there. He's like, it's me, it's Lin-Manuel.
Yeah, he breaks into dance.
Any news come up for you guys?
Yeah.
Do you have any news?
Oh my god! You know, it's funny living here in DC. I've actually stopped listening to the news completely.
I would.
As you should.
I didn't think that would actually happen. I hate to be such a bore, but you know, I gotta
don't-
keep some brain cells left, right?
Yeah, we don't watch the news.
Well, I was going through a little bit of news earlier, and I was having a great time thinking about the decline of celebrities, like, and how companies are no longer using them. You know, like they're not so much promoting Disney and Nike had a bunch of celebrity spokespeople, but they're not doing that so much anymore.
No, I think they're moving it. I think that it's very a Super Bowl thing, isn't it now?
Influencers now?
I was thinking the same thing.
There has been a huge culture shift. That there's been a bad 4 years of superstars, like altogether. Like the best you can possibly see is like one star slapping another on a stage somewhere, you know. But all of those companies have had similar drops in their stocks throughout those entire 4 years as well.
Oh.
So you think they need a celebrity?
Yeah.
I
We
think
need the endorsements.
There's been some shifts because influencers aren't doing it.
I don't think they. I think
No.
I think that people. It was a bit like when You remember when Tiger King blew up, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, "We're going to make this movie about it. We're going to do this about it. We're going to do that about it." I'm like, "Why? Everyone's going to forget about it in a month." And then it's true. Everyone forgot, and all the films got cancelled. And I think this is the thing of influencers is there's no staying power. You know, you see them come up on Instagram, and you're like, "That's great," but you're going to be tired in a couple of weeks,
or you're going to be pigeonholed into one thing.
It's interesting to see what celebrities are using now, because like Matthew McConaughey's got quite a good reputation. I think because he's got such a solid reputation, he's become a very good go-to.
Yeah,
but you're seeing a lot of like those celebrities going to European companies, not so much American companies anymore.
I mean, obviously you got Shaquille O'Neal, who's basically got every endorsement,
all of them. That's the problem.
Everything. There's been some times where we've watched Hulu and we've seen 3 different adverts, and it's been him in each one of them.
Yeah, it truly has.
He is the best one. That guy can escape a non-exclusivity clause like nobody's business.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like his contract is Swiss cheese for like just going into a different commercial.
I think it is true. I think though that's my vibe, is that there is very much there was a turning point over the last couple of years, especially Daniel and I see it is through doing this is the instant celebrity. And actually it's a bit like when you have these TV programs where they find the next, you know, like X Factor, or you have American Idol, and the only ones that have staying power are the ones with personality. You know, just because you get there. You know, Kelly Clarkson's a fucking grafter. Jennifer Hudson, my God, she works. She didn't even leave that show with a good reputation because Simon Cowell trounced it, saying she wasn't good enough, and she fucking fought her way in and came back and gone, "Here's my Oscar, bitch," you know. And it's like, but it's just no. Yeah, I think people want to feel like celebrities, and when they don't recognize a person, they don't want to feel like that person,
right? Or they're like, "Who is this? Why should I care that they're endorsing this shoe?" You know.
A lot of young men I noticed, like Jack Woodall, who's the one who was in One Day, and the new Bridget Jones. He seems to, he's done a couple of bits, but I think there's still that instant, in the moment, we want this person now. It takes a long time for them to work it and like become a trusted ambassador for something. So
yeah.
On that, should we take a quick break?
We should. My ears are burning.
Your ears are burning. And we're back, and apparently we're going to release the conversation we just had on Patreon, which will not work because we didn't record it.
Right.
But
and we don't have an account on Patreon yet.
We don't have that
yet.
And we barely get free listeners, so let's see who wants to pay.
Rub 4 sticks together. There we go.
On that note, Daniel, how was culture for you this week?
Culture for me this week. So I continued the clean out the freezer challenge of cooking. So we had ginger fish this week, and then the next day we had pad thai with soup dumplings because, well, someone got a deal at Whole Foods at that time.
Do you know what fish you can't cook with ginger?
Ooh, what fish?
Sole.
Oh. God, Max, you're horrible. You are absolutely fucking horrible. Okay, drink of the week. I'm going to keep going because I'm not going to laugh without one. Drink of the week was Poppy. I had strawberry lemon. Good flavor if you want something for summer. Songs of the week, brand new Ariana Grande, The Twilight Zone. Very good one. And then my smart device, which I will not mention because it's the same as yours, for some reason went on a kick of doing like some of my old music that I listened to. So like Clean Bandit, Rockabye Baby came on, and The Killers, Miss Atomic Bomb, and Just Another Girl. Don't ask me why it was coming up, but it did. New album of the week, I highly recommend Bon Iver's Sable Fable. Very good. Listen to it. It is 2 albums. The first one is 5 songs. The second one is 7 songs. Listen to both of them.
Nice.
And for my self-care, it's what I did today. I had a lovely picnic lunch from Wine and Butter in Lincoln Park. So I'm not necessarily saying listeners go to Wine and Butter because that would be endorsing someone. And I can't do that as a government employee. But I'm saying go have a picnic lunch out in the park.
And as someone that's not employed, go to Wine and Butter.
Yeah.
And Wine and Butter, give us money.
It's like if Ina had a delicatessen like here in DC is what I'd imagine.
Lovely.
See, he wants money. I just want a sandwich.
Yeah.
A money and a sandwich.
Great sandwiches, by the way.
Right, so I'm going to shoot through mine because I actually had a real good couple of week. So food, we did the hot cross buns, which we did earlier. I also did Paul Hollywood's chocolate fudge cake for the Matinee Idol's birthday, which was very delicious.
That was delicious.
Last night we had 2 subs and cream cheese, so I did occasion chicken or tofu pasta, which actually came out really well. For music, Lizzo, Don't Make Me Love You. She came out with a Tina Turner epic style song on SNL this week, and she was fucking excellent. Madonna, Deeper and Deeper. That kept coming up on my playlist. Also, Hubs never heard it. It's one of my favourite of her early ones, I think, because you watch the video, it's so that era of New York, and I think that's so. And she's trying to make out she was in some dodgy, which she was. I know she started rough, but hey,
Yeah.
Also, based on some of our conversation this week about the vindication we're feeling, Dashboard Confessional, Vindicated, off the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack. And finally, Sia and Paris Hilton have a song, Fame Don't Love You.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I'll play it. I love Paris Hilton, Stars
yeah,
Are
yeah.
Blind. Fucking excellent. Live music, we went to a random gig at 9:30 Club. Mike Scabilio, who was excellent. He does a lot of like looping on stuff in his music. He did an excellent cover of Life After, I can never remember the fucking name, Cher, Believe, and Wildest Dreams, but generally it was an excellent show.
You sent me the clip of that
Yes.
one. It was wonderful.
Yes, and he's very good looking.
Oh, he is.
I went to see
Tissue.
John Grant on Friday as part of my birthday stuff, so we saw him at the barn at
Yay.
Wolf Trap, and the barn at Wolf Trap is lovely.
Good.
It's very nice there.
And there was no issues with getting there on time? or
No,
the
we were
seats or
there,
anything?
really quick. It
Perfect.
was really good. Television, we finally watched Somebody Somewhere, the finale of that. Yeah, what you expect, pretty much low key, but we loved it. I love that show. Big Boys is on Hulu, and I fucking love Big Boys. Movies, went to see The Amateur with, God, I'm useless at names this week. Rami Malek.
Oh, yes.
Brilliant. It was really good. Lawrence Fishburne's amazing.
I actually have some news. He broke up with Emma Corrin this week. They had been dating for 2 years.
No.
I know.
You know who Thingy, though, Darcy, is who he's married to?
No.
Saoirse Ronan.
Shut the front door.
Yeah. So
Saoirse.
yeah, Saoirse. But in The Amateur, so it's meant to be set around DC and Virginia. There's a scene at the end, without spoiling anything, in a Kroger car park, and I'm like, there ain't no fucking Krogers in Virginia. So
There are no Krogers in Virginia.
I'm like, and I sat there going, oh my god, I've been out here too long. Well, I know there ain't no Krogers in Virginia.
They must have filmed it in Atlanta then.
I saw there's Kroger's in Kentucky because I went to get I bought last year.
Yes, but there are Krogers in Atlanta, and there's a lot of film studios.
Yeah,
in
it would
Atlanta,
make sense,
So
yeah.
that's why I said they filmed it in Atlanta.
I saw Drop which was excellent. Again, I really fucking highly. That's a real tight 90-minute good one, and very good use of on-screen graphics. They're here to arrest me for that one. Finally, podcast. There's a new episode of Joan and Jericho out today. I did send you the link, and I don't have you listened. They do bring up vaginal discharge in it, and I think it's the episode that most of them are laughing. They really are losing it through most of it.
Well, I know I'm listening to tomorrow. I didn't listen to it today, so.
Also, the use of a UV light for how to work out where the smell is coming from was pure genius.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's a fake self-help podcast by 2 excellent comedy actresses in England, and they play these characters, Joan and Jericho, and they give really bad advice,
The most horrific
and they're
advice.
snobs. They are fucking snobs, and it's these women will call in with issues, and they do it. I think it's improvised, so I don't think they know what the letters are going to be when one of them reads it, and they have to. So they're trying not to laugh.
The letters are real.
The letters are no, luckily not.
Okay,
No.
thank God.
But I think that someone either
Either they write them and exchange them and
Exchange
have
them.
them.
Yeah.
but and they
There-
have a way of turning everything against a woman.
Yeah.
So she'd be like, I'm having a really bad time. My husband is, not cheating on me with someone else, and I'm really active and I keep fit and all that. And they'd be like, well, clearly, this woman, well, she do mention being fit, so she's probably sweaty, and you do get a bit sweaty when you run, and she's probably got a really nasty vaginal discharge because she said she was 40. And they somehow always make it the woman's fault,
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're just these white women who hate women.
Yeah.
And it gets really, and they are really funny. But they did, one of it was
hilarious.
we ended up passing of Prince Andrew one. It's just so funny, but it's Vicky Pepperdine, isn't it? And I can't remember. Oh, Dolly Wells.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
I mean, it takes a certain sort of humor to like the show, which we have that humor, so we love the show. And it's, the topics can be like, when do I stop breastfeeding? And it's like, I have a 12-year-old son and he still likes to breastfeed. And you're just like, oh my God, you are dying listening because they make the most outlandish events possible happen. And then the advice is, well, you stop breastfeeding whenever he tells you that he doesn't do it.
I just think let him tell you.
Yeah.
Who does not? I'm going to spoiler alert. Does not make appearances. Farouk, one of them's got a doctor who they clearly fancy the pants off. And he doesn't come up in this one at all.
Oh, that's so sad.
But no, there's a lot of discharge. Anyway,
There's
talking of discharge, you guys want to talk about anime?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you guys experienced this week?
Yeah. What did you experience this week?
Oh my goodness, what did I do this week? I experienced one of the things that I've been doing is a lot of anime. I'm going through an anime phase.
Nice.
And how
you're wearing
does
a very lovely Pokemon. I know Pokemon's not anime, but you are wearing a nice Pokemon.
I am. I'm wearing Pokemon. This is Snorlax, and he's all over my shirt because that's just one of my days. Like I'm not doing.
That's just
nothing.
who you are today.
Where did you wear that this morning?
I totally wore this to the. Where we get that?
We went to the Supreme Court this morning, and you wore your Snorlax.
I sure did.
Supreme Court, which
I was like,
Why not?
why not?
I was like, that's gonna be fun.
I thought it was fantastic.
He's not on trial.
That's true. And I didn't
Free
drive
Snorlax.
one, so I was like, I want to make sure they know how I feel when I leave there. So I've been leave me alone. I've been watching a lot of like hard fighting anime, Jujutsu Kaisen, JJK for all my fans out there. I love that show. So have y'all ever heard of it?
No.
So it's literally a teenage boy who ends up swallowing a demon's finger, a mummified finger, and he starts gaining the power, and the demon kind of takes over his body in certain times.
I have a question.
It's interesting.
Was Miss Frizzle and the Magic School Bus involved in those?
No, but she could have been.
Okay.
Like that would have been great. What else have I been doing? I love to cook. I don't know if y'all know that about me. So I was making a lot of Japanese food this week.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Well, there's a lot of vegetables in that, and I like to eat. So
They do vegetables well.
Yes.
Yes.
Hibachi vegetables.
And it's all good. We don't talk a lot about. We're not animated people, and so, but we know that there's a lot of people out there that like it.
Yes,
so we're
yes,
glad
yes.
you have brought it to us.
Yes.
yes, it is a lot of fun, and African American man just loving on Japan right now.
As one should.
That's what it should. Oh, is it me? Here we
Yeah,
go.
you
It's
go.
all on
You
you.
go
All
for
right,
it.
perfect
No
anime.
pressure, no
perfect
pressure.
anime segue. So I've been working from home and vaguely watching The Boy and the Heron in the background.
Oh, yes.
Hayao
Miyazaki.
Miyazaki. You love it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I saw it at the cinema.
Okay,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
This is my first experience with it since seeing it in the cinema, like the day that it came out, basically. You know what I mean? And it's kind of exactly what I remember it being. And I was thinking to myself, like, I was sort of thinking to myself, like, while working, like, how can one end up like Hayao Miyazaki or like Wes Anderson, where you just kind of like put something there, and I'm interested the whole time, even if I'm not paying attention. You know what I mean? Fun times for me. I'm not much of a cook, but I have been thinking about savory French toast that I had like 6 days ago, like basically since the minute I had it. Absolutely. If I'm being real though, I did karaoke last night.
Oh yay!
Oh.
And tell me why I haven't sung in front of other people in like 2 years. And without looking, I just knew all the words to Creep, Radiohead, and My Own Worst Enemy, Lit, you know?
I love Creep.
How drunk were you?
I was not drunk at all. That's the problem. I was like desperately trying to order on the weird phone app thing more drinks to the room. Every time. Horrific, because I'm trying to work up the courage while also doing what I would never do. I was doing without, actually.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put
I feel
that.
like there was some adrenaline
There-
driving you.
There was fear coursing through my veins. And just taking me back to the 8th grade, maybe that's what it was. I was like, do I know these people well enough?
Is it a regression?
Yes, yeah. Oh, it transcended anything that I think I've felt for the last 15 years of my life.
Daniel and we don't do anything. We went to a party and it was it's a very sweet friend, but he's very into the games and like ball games and like, you know, parlor games sort of thing.
Of course.
And I don't do anything that involves acting in front of people. You know, I was just about to do Secret Hitler and like werewolf and stuff, you know, and people get me into that and I'm like, I'm really not invested in this.
Yeah. And so we were just sitting in the corner and like watch, and we were having a great time just watching.
But yeah. So it's weird that even though I didn't know the people, I'm like, if you don't know them, do you feel should you be braver or should you just be conscious this is the first impression you're making?
Yeah.
Well, all I'm gonna say is I still have issues with the fact that they did not know who Luigi Mangione was.
Oh my god, we wrote that in there.
We did.
Yeah, and then no one knew that they were like the guy that got killed. No, he was a killer.
Yeah. We were like, let's be mean little gays, and we're like, Luigi.
Well, talking of playing up, this is the bit of the podcast where we discuss what's the culture of the week.
This is where we have checked the feeds, test the moods, and we ask the question, what is gay culture?
It wasn't really gay. Well, actually, you know, not shutting up in a fucking cinema is as gay as anything. So I'm going to run through a couple of these stories very quickly. Oh, shit, I just realised I didn't put in one of my final bits of news. Do you want one of my final bits of news now quickly?
Yes, very quickly.
They have announced on Peacock that Alicia Silverstone will be reprising her role as Cher Horowitz in a sequel series.
No!
Yeah. Because they're doing a prequel of Legally Blonde, they're going to be doing a sequel to Clueless. Whether or not it's going to make the TV series canon.
Ooh.
But no, whether or not Stacey Dash will get her ass in gear and do that one. But that bitch better not be so Republican.
Wonder if Paul Rudd will come back.
I mean, he's younger looking now. I still find that relationship weird because she's really young in that film.
Well, yes, but
no, that's my bit of news. But anyway, that won't be at the cinema, but people are going to the cinema and apparently they're being twats in the cinema.
No.
So, the story we want to discuss this week, and it came up very early in the week, and there's been a couple of... So, the Minecraft movie's out. I nearly went to see it because I ran out of films to see, and it turned out films came out, so I did not see Minecraft. And apparently there was like an extended preview of Superman in it, and I was like, I'll wait for that to come on to maybe. So, basically... In the Minecraft movie, there are Easter eggs, cameos of stuff in the game. When people... Something to do with a chicken derby... Jockey. I don't... Yeah.
A chicken jockey.
And apparently when people see these, they are screaming, throwing stuff, including toilet paper.
And Oreos, apparently, is one headline.
Popcorn all over the place.
Yeah.
So
And this is widely reported?
this
Like,
is widely
everywhere.
reported. Like
Okay,
the directors got involved and said, "Oh my god, they should go for it." I'm also like, director, do you know how people are being paid to clean a cinema because they're not being paid that fucking much?
Yeah.
Unless you want to go
Yeah.
in one of those little bins, maybe you should zip it.
Yeah.
Jack Black got involved, and he said people need to come. Just respect other people. So. Yeah, so are you Minecraft? Are you two Minecraft people, or do you play Minecraft? We don't do computer games or anime. We're fucking useless.
No, darling, I'm older than you. I
no
have
judgment if you do.
I have not played a video game since Donkey Kong was swinging on a vine, baby.
So,
Not at all.
well, it's funny. Like, my experience with Minecraft, I was like maybe like 17 when it came out. Sorry, I know. Whoops, I'm aging myself right now in real time. Literally, I played.
Oh, he was 17.
I played the free version on the internet browser that you could just click onto and then not save the worlds that you were like exploring in. A few years later, I tried to actually buy it from the original European company that started it. My debit card flagged it as fraud and refused to let me buy it. So I gave up. And for the last 10 years, I've just lived a Minecraftless life.
So Lennon, you have done recently programming for... You work in cinema theatres adjacent to...
Yes, I've been involved in several film festivals and screening experiences, stuff like that.
And you used the word experience. So Daniel, when I mentioned this, brought up Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Totally.
I've only seen Rocky Horror once, but not with a shadow cast. It's not done in England. We do it as a live theatre performance.
Whereas I remember this being like my first interactive like theater experience with a shadow cast.
Never got to do because Landmark closed down with it.
Yeah.
So
But I did it in undergrad.
And then we did together the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie where there was not a lot of, there was like some level of interaction.
There was some level of interaction.
And then after that, then we had the whole Wicked scenario where people were saying, do we sing along? And they're like, let's not. We're not paying $15 a ticket to hear you think you can sing.
And then they had the sing along version where you could sing along.
Yes. So, and again, the discussion is, what is the level of audience interaction do you think is acceptable in a cinema without sounding like a boring person?
I think that's dependable.
Yeah.
Like it really depends on what you're gonna go see, who the audience is, because this is a movie that's mainly directed towards 11-year-olds to 15-year-olds. I have two like kids in my life that I love with the deer. They're twins, and they've been playing Minecraft for something around 6-7 years. They would love to go see this and jump around and do all that, and I would want to go with them just to kind of know what it is that they're into, to know them. Because not going as a parent or a godparent, it would make them feel farther away from me,
Right.
and I would want to make sure they were included. But it did remind me a lot of like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and like people knew what they were doing. It was collective. It wasn't just one person.
So my experience with Rocky Horror was like you went to the theater and the theater had the bags made up for you.
Yeah, I've done that
with
one.
the cue cards, and it was like, this is the time that you throw the toast. This is the time that you do, the noisemaker. This is the time that the water's, anyways. But you go in there knowing that you're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Minecraft has been a little bit more of a spontaneous thing, maybe.
So, but the trouble is now is people will see something happen once. It gets on TikTok and then they start. There's a lot of replication culture at the moment. Is that someone does it to someone else? So again, my issues aside, I've been to stuff where I've been to see a re-release of Star Wars, and the people cheer at the right times and all that, and it's a bit louder maybe. I think throwing stuff and I think general cleanup, that's something that people should be considerate that people are not paid a lot of money, and there's not a lot of rollover time and they can get crap for it.
Totally.
I think that there's a difference also between a reaction to something occurring on screen and just generally like disrespect for the thing. Is like if your level of crazy is so loud that people are actually missing parts of the movie, then that's when it becomes unacceptable.
Yeah.
Did you see the part that they brought a live chicken?
I
brought
heard
a
someone
live
bought a
chicken.
live chicken.
Yes.
No way.
Like they were doing the chicken.
Okay, hold
jockey.
on, wait. I'm sorry. I have to stop this. I worked at movie theaters as a door guy for like 3 years, and you have to check bags sometimes.
Not anymore.
No.
Live chicken level, not check the bag?
Not. It is such to a level that somebody actually brought a like cardboard version of the chest with a whole bunch of burgers through and was handing them out in there.
Okay.
And no one bothered because he said, I'm autistic, and if I don't eat my food out of this chest, I will have an attack.
Okay, look. I'm just gonna say one thing. If the Minecraft experience while watching it in the theater is a litmus test for like how far society can go, I sort of feel like if it's getting that bad, even though that's the point, it sort of also defeats the purpose of what movie theaters are for. You know what I mean? Like, look, I was working in a movie theater when the 50 Shades movies were coming out. I found panties on the ground of an auditorium after the show was I swept them up and I put them in a trash can.
I bet you did.
And that's only one pair. If the whole shit is completely wrecked after a screening, I think that's like pretty good reason to start disciplining like a whole group of people, like a whole auditorium, like collective punishment. We're shutting this off.
Yeah.
Y'all are out of hand right now. Sorry.
My vibe would be then is that if you're going to start having a level of audience interaction. Now, this is not, I'm going to put this out now, this is not in any way a comparison, but theatres now have started to introduce safer performances where the actors come out at the start for people that are neurodivergent. They explain stuff. It's so lovely to watch shows now to do it.
Awesome.
There's an expectation there's going to be a bit noisier. There's going to be people moving about. This is obviously live performance. If you're going to go to something and there is getting to the point now where it is a level of disruptive going, I could have gone to a Minecraft movie and because I look at the cast, the reviews actually were pretty good for it. People said actually, for I saw Borderlands and that was I could never even heard of Borderlands and knew this was nowhere near the computer game. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do that, and as an outside person, I'd have sat there and gone, okay, but I don't know enough about Minecraft to get what you're doing, and also I can't follow along with the movie to do it. So I think that there needs to start being if they're starting to generate this level of interactivity, a way of saying, okay, well, we're going to have this performance is going to be, like an audience performance or
that
something.
Cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That could be cool.
And also maybe...
With an additional fee.
If they think there's going to be cleanup involved.
Yeah.
Also, if you're bringing in burgers, everyone knows...
Or chickens.
That should never have happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was a whole live chicken.
But,
No.
Also... concessions is how cinemas stay afloat. So if you're bringing in burgers, you're kind of killing the cinema, but that's just...
Right.
Yeah.
So the other one that came up this week as well. So we have... do you have Alamo Draft House in Texas?
We do.
You do,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Several.
So I wasn't always the biggest fan because I don't like there's too much talking that comes from the ordering of food. It's 2 hours. You can survive without eating, but hey, that's just me.
Or just arrive early and order.
But I do get the point. They do actually, I will say they do hold a ship. So there used to be a cinema in downtown that closed. That was the landmark. It's one I go to, but it's the bigger one that they closed it.
East Street?
East Street,
I heard about that.
Yeah. It was the only time I had a really bad month with losing my job and East Street closed and I cried. And I was like, this is not fair.
They're taking everything away
So
from me.
Alamo's down in Northeast and they have a very famous, if you know it, I'll say famous, but it comes up, if you're seen with your phone out, we will warn you. If we're seen twice, you're kicked out. They do not want to see phones out in it. So Megan 2's coming out. Their Meta are doing, I don't know how they're going to do Megan 2. First one was good, but everyone in the audience was watching a different film. I was like, guys, it's camp, but it's not. It's camp. They're doing Megan 2. The idea is that Meta are introducing this they call it second screen experience where you get stuff on your phone essentially. And Alamo are like, no, we have a no phone policy. We are not going to be instigating this. If anyone tries to use it, they will be thrown out. And I think there was like some level of legal came in. They said they won. They're like, no, this is against us. So again, if you're at home and you're trying to engage people in it, that's fine. The home media now is more powerful than ever. But how would you feel going to a cinema and as you paid a ticket, now you two, you're out, you're like, I want to go get a movie. Shall I see what's on? Great, that's on. You have no idea. You think, I'll give this one a go. You sit down and suddenly everyone gets their phone out and starts playing. How would you feel?
I mean, that's kind of cold-blooded. Like, they making you pay twice for your own phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's just, I don't like it.
I'm not doing
Shame on people for doing it, though. You deserve to pay twice if you're going to do it.
I mean, if you're going to do it, might as well pay twice.
And we're talking like second screen, like so it becomes an interactive
Yeah.
thing rather than... See, that's the thing. Like, for a cinema to like go so far against that, like I understand what we're saying. Like a normal screening is a normal screening, you know what I mean? But some of the best experiences I've had, like at film premieres or opening night, it got a little weird. It got a little wild, and it's like everyone's dressing up, costumes. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a world where like you can just watch anything at any given moment, all the time, anywhere. Maybe there's like a market or something like that in cinemas where it needs something like that, right? Because if you're gonna check your phone anyway, you could make it a part of the film.
But
That's crazy.
I'm
not even a fan of what I just said, and that might be the future.
But
I don't know.
my issue with that is if people have got if they're legitimizing having your phone out, then all it takes is some idiot to get on his phone and start a phone call. I don't think. I see. We Barbenheims, and we all dressed
Me too.
up.
Absolutely.
So we went, and me and Daniel especially, because we are basically from the 1950s and 40s. Did like the preppy look with the pink, and it was great. And I've done
beautiful.
stuff. I've gone to Star Wars stuff where people have dressed up, but the interaction has never ever tried to draw attention from the screen.
Right.
And I feel that
costume.
this stuff is drawing it. So I think that I don't know. I wouldn't want someone on their phone. It's really fucking distracting. They're too bright. You can't see, and if someone's in front, and I'm like. I think there needs to be a balance. I think like Alamo are trying to introduce these parties. They do these, we're going to have an interaction level. Though when one came up for the, what's the Spaceballs one, and they did it's a quote along, and I was seeing this film called The Ballad of Wallace Island, which was a gentle British comedy, and this lady in front of me just went, "Oh no," just like ma'am.
Yeah,
I think that they need to find a way to interact without it's got to remain within the spirit. I don't think they're finding that balance.
So I'm going to say this: I don't get my phone out, and I feel like if I'm competing with the screen and the phone, I don't know which one to look at. Like, I don't have that attention span. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Like, what am I watching? Like, where are my eyes going? I can't do this.
So what would you say? In your experience, before we move on to the end of the episode, have you both ever been in a cinema where a spontaneous audience participation moment has occurred, and it's made it's not someone just talking loud or that it's actually worked with it and it's added to that? Have you ever been there and gone, okay, the audience is feeling this vibe of this film, everyone's rooting for this movie? Is there ever?
I'll say one thing. So, without naming names, of course, like I mentioned, I work with a handful of film festivals. And just a couple of weeks ago, there was a film that obviously dealt sort of like with nature vibes, right?
Yeah.
And they were interviewing people that were really like exploring the spiritual aspect of nature and the earth and all that stuff. And as the camera crew was interviewing them, they invited them to meditate. The picture blacked out and literally said, "We invite you to participate in this as well." And it was just like dead silent, nothing but vibes, body check. All of a sudden, 200 people were meditating in an auditorium. And 2 minutes later, lights back on. The film goes on. And that was kind of like antithetical to what you would think like a cinematic, play along moment kind of thing is. I'd never experienced anything like that. And I caught myself just doing it within seconds. I was like, heck yeah, I'll meditate right now. Like, why not? But at the same time, you want me to yell at the screen, tell me that you want me to do that.
Yeah.
I'll do it. You know what I mean? I feel like it can be used really creatively, but hey, what just
nice,
happened to me 2 weeks ago, like that's a whole other way to do it. So I'm into it.
The complete opposite what happened to me. But anything happened to you, Allen, in the cinema?
I mean, I have been to a couple of premieres for movies where things happen, and you expect it to happen then. Like, they give out free things, and they'll tell you. But I've never had anything wild happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. The only one I went to see The Evil Dead a couple of years back. And I loved Evil Dead movies. And it was my birthday one, and I bought candy for the first time ever in the cinema. Awesome. And I sat there, and this lady sat next to me. It was a little tiny cinema, but it was full, and she just went to me. I think she just randomly picked a movie, and she goes, "I have never seen an Evil Dead film." I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna have a really great time. They're a lot of fun. They're like, there's a nice balance." And there's a lot of work with a cheese grater in it, which really makes me squeamish. And by the end of the movie, she had like linked through my arm and was burying into me to hide her face. And because the whole bunch was screaming, and she goes, I'm sorry. I'm like, honey, this is making my night. And she's like screaming at it, and I'm like, and she's like virtually like on top of me, and I'm like, it was just so much fun. And that was a level of like just being in there. I think the balance is that the audience has to be aware of other people. And as long as the next joke can be heard, that's all that matters. The chicken, I don't think appreciated the Minecraft movie.
No.
And I'm also generally, as a dog owner, and I know I'm not a vegetarian, but people don't bring live animals to things.
Yeah,
it really does fucking distress them. Like, they really don't like it.
Distresses me.
I mean, there's a caveat. It was definitely a like, what did the like a sorority or fraternity prank?
Yeah.
It would be something like that. But he was a teen on his friend's shoulders, like as a jockey,
Yeah.
and had a chicken. And as they said, chicken jockey.
Yeah.
They did it, but. I mean, he did. The police showed up. Like
Yeah.
there was
I've heard
there was a whole issue. I mean, he was blacker than I was that night.
This sounds like a really good time to go. Daniel, would you like to go to the end of the episode?
Yes. Yes, please.
Okay. Do you guys have a gagged and goop? Do you have a surprising story you heard this week? We like to call it gagged and goops.
Yes.
Gags and what is it?
Goops. It's based on
Goops.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Goops.
Yeah.
Oh my
goop.
God, Alan, you start and I'll think of one.
Do you have a
Oh
story?
yeah, throw me in.
The pressure, right?
And here's the thing: if you don't have one, it's fine because Max has one.
I sure do
Oh
not. I
my
do not
God.
have one. Come on, man.
We're
Give it
very
to me.
serious people.
Yeah.
Well, my
Nothing ever
one
happens
was,
to us.
I should have actually done the gagged and goop being Alicia Silverstone if I'd forgotten and put it in. What left me gagged and goop this week was my unexpected crush of the year is Benson Boone. I don't know, that little nugget of a man can, something about him. I don't know what it is. He's so
Sorry,
fucking,
I'm here with someone else.
he's so young as well. He's 22, he's way too young.
He's way too young for you, dear.
But his body. And his douchey
Will he
hair.
hold you against?
His
Will he
Paul-
hold
his-
it against
He
you?
has that Paul Mescal vibe. Anyway, that's not...
Oh, he does.
He does.
Yeah.
He is at Coachella with every douchey person in the universe. And he does Bohemian Rhapsody and brings out on stage Brian May, and no one in the audience knew who Brian May was.
Oh, fuck.
And there was a really underwhelming response. He's actually then joked about it on like TikTok and gone, ladies and gentlemen, Brian May, and everyone is like, no one in his kitchen. So it left me gagged and gooped because people are fucking terrible.
Yeah. Get some culture, people.
I want a word though.
All right. The word of the week is druxy.
Oh,
Something that is wholesome on the outside, but rotten to the core on the interior.
yes,
Druxy.
I'm pointing at myself right now.
right. And this is where we do Petticoat Lane.
Yes,
We won't take it out too long. Does anyone have anything they want to complain about?
I do.
Daniel, go first. You can all complain about something.
Look,
I already know it's on him.
look, guys, I know it is Easter Friday right now, and it will be not Easter whenever this comes out. But for heaven's sakes, why were there so many kids running around in the parks today? I just wanted to enjoy just being out in nature, and there were just children everywhere. Couldn't they have been in school? Teach the children not to run in front of me.
They will listen.
Yes, they will listen.
Children will listen.
They are the future, some will say.
I think mine would be something like going through crowds of people. People should realize that they are going to bounce off big people.
Oh.
Like, I'm a bigger person, and I walk in a straight line on purpose because I don't want to hit anybody. People don't realize they're going to bounce off of me. Like, I'm a big girl. Baby, there's cushion. Okay?
He's lying. He's a 22-year-old white twink.
Yeah. it's like an emaciated stick.
I know. He turns sideways. Who's saying that? He's skinnier.
I probably ate one of those once. But no.
No, people need to watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna come out. I'm
Oh!
gonna, I'm gonna come. Wait, hold on now.
Live on air.
Y'all got the scoop. Y'all got the
He's got his
scoop.
gagged and goods.
I'm gonna
The
come
disco
out
ball comes down.
right now and complain
Uh-huh.
about the polyester blanket that I've been sleeping with for the last 3 months.
She has a name.
Does she though?
Sounds like a personal problem.
Personal problem, but I think the world is responsible, and that's also how I view.
Are you sure it's just not a dry night sheet?
Are you sure it's not Donatella Versace?
Oh well.
Oh no, she's only natural. She is.
It couldn't be because they recycle the same thing year after year.
Okay.
I will finalise my one then. People just take up less room on the sidewalk.
Oh, that's always your petticoat.
Yes,
Always.
there's these two young mums with their young babies. I screamed at one of them, and then the guy gave his kid. I had to walk on a bank of stuff, and I was like, "Can you get your kid?" I went, "Get your kid out my way." Did not go down well. But I was running, so I didn't get his response.
But did the kid go down?
No, I had to
You
run.
should have
instead
pushed
of-
the kid
Oh,
down.
no.
I mean, if you kick a child, they bounce.
They're like bumbles. They bounce.
I mean, that's what that soft bone is for.
Yeah.
On that note, shall we end the show?
Yes, my dear, we have barely set the agenda.
Cheers.
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 Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for having
us. This has been a Bearded Bitch production recorded in a Diane Keating podcast studio in Haberdashery.
You've been listening to The Bitches with Beards. I've been Daniel.
And I'm Max. A big thanks to you all for tuning in and giving us a listen. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and review the following on Twitter, X, and TikTok, where you can find us at Bitches with Beards.
Please remember that only a mother could love our views and opinions, and they reflect us and no one else.
We'll hear you next week unless we're cancelled. Cheers.